Hi everyone, this is Kwame again, and this is my second video, and this is in fact a live. From my previous video, I feel it's quite a tedious process building the software, so I think it's a better approach to just do a live whilst I'm working on it and try to explain as much as I possibly can what I do. As you can see on my screen here, I have my code and my AI agent Grok and ChatGPT. I've already started doing something. From what I showed you the other time, I told you that that has already been deployed at a filling station and it's working really well. But it does have a limitation because I am working with single.db files, and that was how I started with it because of my limited knowledge. But I do know that it's not scalable, and if I'm going to be able to scale that in the future, I need to be able to build a more robust system that can handle um, much larger data in a more consistent way, so I don't have to be creating .db files for every filling station that comes on board. So with that in mind, I'm trying to redesign the whole process again. Hopefully, it's not as tedious as it was the first time. I've already started something, so let me just briefly show you what I've done. Then we will continue from there. So this is my offline mode, and this is my previously what I did was I work on offline mode, then later I transitioned that to online. But it was always a challenge when I'm going online because there are certain configurations that you need to do, and it's quite tedious. It takes a lot of time. So this time around, I'm trying to do all of that concurrently. I've been able to set up the code in such a way that if I work with it offline and it works, all I have to do is copy. I don't have to make any um, different configuration for it to be deployed online. So as you can see here, this is the online version. I'm using Python anyway. That's my name. FTC Kwame blah blah blah. Then this is the offline version. So let me show you what I've done so far. I'm working on the admin console now. I'm doing kind of a previously what I did was I started with the station console. So when that one started working, then I worked the other parts of it, the directors console, the office console, then the admin console. But now I have like a vivid idea of how I want everything to proceed. So I'm trying to do it in a more professional manner, at least from what I think is professional. And so I'm doing it like logically. So the first logical thing to do is to set up the administration to be able to add on more stations, add on more companies or tenants. So that's what I've been working on today. So now when you log in, it brings you here. Now this basically shows you the admin console. You have tenants, you have analytics, reports, settings. I will do all of this later, but for now, primarily what I'm working on is the tenants because I want to be able to proceed to a point where I can deploy it and take my time to add the other features. So the tenants you see here, they are supposed to be um, what you call companies. Companies that will come on for me to then add on to that. And I've done this bit and I've done the manage bit. So manage bit helps me go here. Then from here, I can add on more tenant, right? So I've not done the search bit. I think I reached here before I left for work. Add new. So when you come to add new, you get this field where you can add on a new company, right? And this is the corresponding code associated with that. Um, admin. So we have the dashboard. That's the one. The dashboard is what you see first when you log in. Then this is the tenant code, right? So this is where I'm at now. Now, whilst at work, please excuse me for a second. Um, whilst at work, I sorry the lighting. I apologize for the lighting in my office here. If I put on the light, it comes up behind me, so it's going to distract people from seeing me or whatever. So I intentionally put that off. Sorry, I'll work on the lighting in the room, please. Like I said, this is not a production setup, so please. Um, so whilst at work, like in my free time, I did a bit of a schematic, like approach of how logically how I want the thing to work, and it's quite similar to what I've already done, so it shouldn't be difficult to do. I think immediately what I would want to do now is the first thing I said I was going to do here is to do a create tenant py. So basically, this button that you see here, in the future I'll work on mouse like this, how they do it in some YouTube videos, so that you can see what I'm clicking on. But basically, you see this create tenant here. I've not done it, so I'm gonna what I'm coming to work on now is this create tenants, right? So I'm gonna create a new file that will basically do something, a task, when this create tenant is done. Okay, so currently all my functions for the admin are sitting in the admin folder. So I first of all I'll start by creating a Python file, and I'll call that create tenant tenant.py. Right, and that will link to it links to the template, the admin template here. I think these are working now, so I can safely delete these. I will show you, these are a little bit of what I call my version of version control, to be able to keep track of what's working and what's not working in my code. Basically, if I achieve a working code, I create a duplicate. Then before I change anything, so that if anything happens, I can just go back to the other one. So that's what you saw me delete. Now I know this is working, so I just deleted that. And so templates, and the same thing with that. I know that's working, so I can go ahead and delete that. Okay. Now admin. So the create tenant is going to work with this tenant HTML, right? So these are some of the charts that I've been using all day. I want to continue from where I left off. No, I think it's here. It's this chart. Yeah, it must be that one. That's why it keeps loading like that. Sorry, ChatGPT has been messing up today. It's quite slow. Yeah, so I think this was the last one that I did. Yeah, it must be that one. That's the last one I did. So I was thinking about the creating database here. So now let's start with that. I think let's do Grok. Let's start with Grok. So basically, I want to create uh, give me, so this is the kind of, when I'm giving out my prompt, I basically speak to the AI the way I want it to go. It's not enough to say give me a database to do this or give me a function to do that. You need to be able to explain in logical manner how you want it to operate. So that's what you see me do here. It can be quite a lengthy prompt, but it works for me. So I want to basically create so I will go like, give me a code for create tenant.py, which will work when the create tenant button in the tenant.html is clicked. So just to keep track, once I say that, then I upload what I've already done in the tenant.html, so it will know what I'm talking about. Where is it? Personal project. FTC. Template. Man. Tenants.html. So it knows what I'm talking about. Then the py file will sit in this path, because I used Grok earlier for some function, so it doesn't have the history of where the files are. So because of that, I need to tell it where it will be so that I can include it in the configuration. If I'm using the same prompt in ChatGPT, maybe I wouldn't include the path, because the history is there. It's able to tell where exactly what it is. But just to be safe, I will add the template, the path of that file to it. So it sits in this file. So just copy one of these ones, copy as path. So in this path, and just delete that. Right, so it knows that it sits in this path. So you can do maybe create tenant.py. Right, so now this is what it will do, right? What did I even write in my, okay. So you see this field, all this information, when you type it in, I want to be able to save that in a database, right? So I need tenant name, emails, tenant name, emails, phones. Let me put the screen on my other screen so I can look at it and type. So it will create a table in a database called tenants, and then it will have these columns. Tenant name, you can just do name, no, first of all ID, name, the fields, I want to specify the fields, as well as the fields with the columns in the table, so that it knows where to get which information to place in that table. So I'll just do, it will have these column field pairings. ID, that will be the tenant's code. Name, that will be the tenant name. Emails, emails is fine. Let me just put in brackets. It will store as many as added. Phones, it will store as many as added. Address, notes. Then this is not in the field, but it also needs to generate a username and a password. So I'll call it master user and master pass. Then for the master user and the master pass is generated. I want it to generate it basically using the, what did I write? It would be generated using the hold on, I provided a structure for it. First word, okay, so the master user and pass will be automatically generated. Master user will be the first word in the name, hyphen 4 random digits. Then the password will be, what did I put for the first word? Username is the first word. No, the master username will be the first word in the name, and hyphen the code, the tenant's code. First word and code. Then the master pass will be first word hyphen 4 random digits. Right. So the create the py file will auto generate that and store it in the database, right? Auto generate that and store it in the database. So sometimes when I do that, it's quite a long prompt. So to be able to know to be able to know that the AI understands what I'm doing, I'll just add a simple prompt like, let me know you understand before I give you the permission to proceed. It helps if you can type very fast because it's quite a lengthy one. And for better understanding, I'm also going to attach the py file that I have already developed for the tenant. I'm just going to attach that so that it can see how that configuration is set up and it can provide me an option. All right. So sometimes another thing I like to do, like I will copy the same thing, the same configuration here. Is it this one? ChatGPT. ChatGPT is so slow today. I don't know. Yeah, so I can do a branch. Yeah. Have I already branched? Let me see. Which one is it? Sorry, I'm just trying to retrace my steps from earlier. No, I think this is the latest one. This must be the latest one. Let me just open a new chat. It's slow. Let me just open a new chat. We'll start from there. Hopefully, sometimes if you're lucky, it still remembers. So let me just open a new chat. So what I like to do, I'll paste the same prompt here. Then I'll do the same attachment and see which one gives me the best. So that's that. Then tenants.py. Then I'll go ahead and also attach the login.html, which sits in the template folder. So as much as possible, I want to put all my template files in one folder. That's what you call the front end, and the back end in other folders, so that I can have that separation. For my research, it looks like that's the proper way of doing it. So the tenants, yeah, it's the tenants one that you want. Yeah, right. So you have that, you have that. So I give that to Grok and I give that to ChatGPT as well. What did I give Grok? Tenant PY, tenant HTML. Yes. So now I give that to ChatGPT as well, just to have a backup and see. So it says create a new file, blah blah blah. This will handle create tenant. Okay. Connect a database and create a table that. If it doesn't exist, insert this, that. It does that. So clearly, as you can see, it's explaining it exactly how I want it done. So I can give it the go ahead to proceed. Let's see what ChatGPT also says. It's been very slow today. You can proceed with that one. But previously, I was using it. I was using the ones that I've launched at the fuel station. We're using, like I said, I was using small.db files. So I'm trying to move away from that. But even then, I still need to create a .db file for the local one. I can use that for implementation. But then Python Anywhere, the platform on which I'm deploying this, it has a database. So that's the online version I showed you here. Sorry, I need to bring the screen back for you to see. Like I said earlier, I'm running two concurrent systems. This is the offline one, this is the online one. I've not logged into the online one yet. See if I can log in quickly. This is the online one. So it's basically the same thing. So Python Anywhere has a database, which I am trying to use now. I'm trying to use that database now. This is the database. So I want to do them concurrently so that I don't run into any problem in the future. So for now, I will just create my .db file here. I'll just quickly create my .db file. I have a light software called DB Browser. Basically, you can use that to browse DB files, and it helps you see the structure of the data. That also helps with the programming as well. So I can use that to just create a new database. Let me just store it where. Store it on personal projects, FTC. Yeah. Then I will just store that here. What will I call it? I can call it FTC. Is that it? Don't need to create any table now. Yeah. So I come here, that's my DB file. Let me just make sure. That's my FTC DB file, right? So for now, the database is called FTC.db and it sits in the parent folder. So create a separate file called db.py or dbaccess.py. That file will handle connection to the database. Sets it up in such a way that it can be edited to connect to an online database. Right. So that, let's see what that gives us. Skip the selection. I don't want the selection. Let's see if ChatGPT has given us something. Yeah, I understand. When you create a tenant, blah, 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 blah. Good. Okay. Right. So now I'll give ChatGPT the same prompt I gave it with this one. The same prompt I gave it with this one. It's a tedious process. I get that for production wise, the best thing would be to do the recording and see the straightforward parts of it and stitch it all together. But like I said, I'm not production expert, and this alone takes a lot of time. So I'd rather do a live and it will be there, so that hopefully people can always access it whenever they want. So blah 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 blah. As you can see, so it's giving me the DB access. Okay. Okay. It's going ahead to even give me the code. Okay. Huh. This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, but okay. So that So I will create my DB file here. Name it DB. Oh no, it's a Python file. Sorry, this is IPYNB. Sorry. So that's DB access, right? So once I create that, I'll put this file in there. Sometimes I just need to get the. I know sometimes immediately it might not work. I do know that, but I'll just copy it anyway and put that in there. I need something to start to click, then I'll work from there. So this goes into the admin. So that's create tenant py that comes here, right? So let's see. Let's see, ftc.db. I said that's right. Okay, now let's see. So let's see. Where's my yeah. So that's the offline one, I suppose. Let me just hard refresh. Right, so if I go add, and let's start, maybe my company is Kwame Fuel Company Limited. So I get my tenant code as automatic, and maybe I do I don't want to show my email. No. So I do maybe 123 at yahoo.com. Oh, I'm supposed to add a save. Okay, that I do abc at gmail.com. Then I do 02412345678910. That's one. I do another one. That address, maybe please don't show it online. An address, I do 7 Avenue Block C, something like that. Note I can do just testing mic 1 2. Right. So let's see if this create tenant works. Oh, something has worked. But it needs to give a confirmation that it has worked. So that's where my DB browser comes in. So now I can go to my DB browser and refresh and see if there's a table has been created. Open. See if a table has been created. No, there's nothing in the DB. There's nothing in the DB, which means that it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. There's nothing in it. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. So, this is where it becomes tricky. You need to find out where the problem is. Now, I do know that I'm targeting my FTC, but I wanted the program to be done in such a way that it can be engineered for future use, right? So immediately what I'll look for in this code is FTC and see how it targets it. So all these are in the comments. So this is it. This is how it targets my ftc.db. I'm going to remove all of this in the future because I'm using my SQL, but I just need it to work first. So this is it. It's not working. Fine. I'll come back to that, but let me try ChatGPT's own too and see what that gives me. So DB access gives you that. And give create tenants. That's very sophisticated. see what that does. Okay. Now a hard reset. Add tenant. No, but I've not linked it. That's why it's not working. See, I've not linked it. I've not linked it. I think I know why it's not working. Yeah, I know why it's not working. I've not linked it because all I've done is create the what do you call it? The files for the database access and everything, but I need to change the configuration of this button when you come to add new this button. So I need to hook it. I think it's what they call bootstrapping. I need to hook this button so that it links to the files that I just created so that it does that work for me. Let me see if it's provided anything. Right. So I will just do this. What change do I need to make to the tenant HTML so that the create tenant button works with this? I'll put the same configuration to Grok for future so that we can test that one too out and see. You see, so your form currently posts that, but in your new plan, blah 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 blah. So require change. You need to change this to that. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT also says. Your form must post that. So it's basically the same thing. Right, so your Python code to read this, that. 30-second sanity check. One. Make sure your form make sure your form looks exactly like this. This seems complicated. Let's come here if that will solve the problem. You know, to be fast about it, I will just upload the tenant again. Because sometimes when you put in more queries like that, it tends to even forget what you're talking about and makes some assumptions. So I will be like, this is the tenant email, the HTML. What change should I make for the create tenant button to work with the py files, the new files, the new functionalities? Now we just put the same one to ChatGPT here. The same idea. Sorry. Tenant HTML. Doing that. This one has answered. So, oh, I didn't press this. So start. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what it says. Here is that changes. That, replace it with that. Sometimes if I'm feeling lazy and if the changes are too many, I'll just ask it to do the whole thing for me. but you can see here it's just this one. So you're looking for this in the tenant HTML. So tenant HTML template admin. So in this tenant HTML here, I'm looking for that. There it is. Right, and it wants me to change that to this. I'll just select that and change it. Right. So once I have that, I will try again and see if it works this time. Force refresh, add that 123 at gmail.com, abc at yahoo.com, 1 2 3 4 5. Add another one here, 7 block avenue, just testing to see if it works. Create tenant. We need to provide a confirmation to show that it has worked, but again, you can go back to my DB browser and see if it has worked. No, it hasn't worked. It has not worked. It has not worked. It hasn't worked. Oh, yes. Yes, you need to do this. You need to do this. So for all the modules that I have, it's quite an elaborate program, right? It's going to be huge. The one that I've deployed has so many modules. So the app here basically has all the modules. So like this thing that you can see here is one of the modules. Is doing one thing. This is doing another thing. So like you have the tenant that shows that this is the module. So you need to import it into the app so that it can be run. I haven't done that yet for what we just did. So I think it's supposed to be from something like from admin.tenant. Let me see from here. So in this case, from admin.create tenant import. What are we importing? Tenant BP. We are importing that. I think. Yeah, I think so. So we are importing this. Yeah, we are importing tenant BP. Then we need to register the blueprint. Yeah, but you can't have the same blueprint because we already have tenant BP here. So I need to change this. Go ahead and change this. Don't call it tenant BP, call it create tenant BP. Blueprint, create tenant BP. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up. I don't think there's, let me see, tenant BP. It's supposed to be, yeah, so 1 2, yeah, so all this has to be create tenant BP now. All this has to be, so this is the kind of change I'm talking about. You need to, because I've done this before, I know some of the flow and the logic of how some of these things work. So it's easier for me to make these changes when ChatGPT does it for, like AI gives you the code. It's easier to make these changes. So it's create tenant now. So now I can come back here in my main app. So now from that we are importing create tenant BP. Then we register the blueprint here. So I will just put this one to here. So app register blueprints, create tenants BP. Hopefully that should fix it. But in my experience, you probably run into another trouble. So let's see how it goes. I'll refresh. Let's see. There it is. So when it does that, it means the console has shut down. This is the prompt I'm using, my offline one. So I need to restart it again. So you go like Python app.py. There's a problem, it tells you what the problem is. So it says here, tenant is already registered as a blueprint. See, this was what I was trying to avoid. That's why I made it create tenant, but it looks like it's still there. It's still there somewhere. So we need to see where the problem is. Here, app.py line 80. Register create tenant.bp. Wow. That's the problem I was trying to avoid. Admin tenants.bp, create tenants. Yeah, but I think I've solved it though. Okay, you know what? Here, to make things simpler, I will just do, I'll just ask it. Because no, but it shouldn't be a problem. Hold on. Okay, all right. I think it's this. The problem is this because it's probably already been used in this one. Yeah, it's probably already been used in that one as a blueprint somewhere here. So it won't accept it. So if this is gonna work, I think I might have to change that. And it's there twice. So let me change it to create tenant. You see my screen changing. It's just my warm light indicator. I turned it off for the streaming for an hour, but I've elapsed an hour, so it's going back. I will turn it back off momentarily. Sorry about that. Hey, streaming is not easy. I guess it's. I was dreading it, but I guess it's easier for me to do it because I don't know what is watching now. I look at the viewers and I see zero. So I want the followership to grow, but in this moment, I'm very happy because it gives me like a little bit of freedom and it calms my nerves. So later, when I post it on my channel and some people view it, I welcome all comments. I can have a heart and look at it later. But now, I'm okay. So yeah. So I changed this thing to create tenants so that it can be just one blueprint. Now let's see if there's a duplication in the main app. I don't think so. It should not be a problem now. Let's see, Python app.py. Let's see. See, good. Now you see it started. So the blueprint, the tenant was registered twice. It needs to be unique. So now you see the app has started. So now you can see here, if I refresh that, I should get my thing back. Good. Now let's try that once again. All that. 1, 2, 3. Yahoo.com. Just need to make sure the addition are working. That's why I keep entering the same thing again. That 7 file block avenue. Close this. Come on. Avenue. Then testing mic. Create. Let's see if there's a change in the DB. It's still not working. There's still 0 tables in the DB. Huh. Okay. So you know what? To be able to see that it has worked, right? To be able to see that it has worked, we will do something. We will provide we'll use debugging. So debugging basically put in print statements in the console so that you know that it has captured the data and see what the problem is. So it already has the DB access file. Let me see. Let me see the DB access. How it handles the FTC here. Okay. So I want to add templates to it. I want to add them, what do you call it? Debugging statements to it so that I know that it's working. So these are the files now. Let me even add the app. Let me even add the app. Let me add the app. Sorry, FTC. Let me add the app. Then let me add what else? The DB access. These are the files now. But when I click create tenant, nothing happens. Oh, so provide a confirmation so that I know that the tenant has been created. And also for now, provide print statements in the console so that I know that the information has been captured. Right? Let's do that and see what it gives us. So now that I've put the thing in there, I never see exactly. It will always tell you that it now sees exactly what has happened. Then it will give you a wrong thing. It's normal. So your HTML is calling this that, but your actual blueprint is defined as that. Oh yes, 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 yes. Because I changed it to create tenants. Yeah, yeah. So I might need to change. Yeah. Remember, I made a change that there's already a blueprint called tenant, and I made a change to create tenant. So in the create tenants.py, no. Okay. Here, so it's asking me to do that. I can't do that because other than that, I can't register it. I can't register it. Hmm. Okay, let me show you the logic of what I did and see what it says. So I will upload this admin. This is the tenant. And I'll go like this file already has a blueprint called tenant and was causing a crash when I start the program. That's why I changed it to create tenants. Let's see what it says. So in this case, now I need to just change the endpoint rather. See, now it understands what I did, and it says it's the right thing to do. So in the tenant HTML now, here, in the tenant HTML now, replace this. I'm looking for that. I don't have anything like, oh no, I'm using the wrong thing. Sometimes when you copy the thing, it gives you something else. We're facing this challenge today. Oh. You copy one thing, then it gives you another thing. There it is. All right. So this is what I'm looking for. So it says replace this with this. It's basically the same thing, but instead of tenants create tenants, I will do create tenants, create tenants, create tenants. Yeah, that. Then that code generation fetch here. B, you're looking for that. This one, it says replace that with this. Right. Then in the console print statement, add this. This is I will delete this one later, but that's just to show me what's going into the database so that I know that it's working. So that will be in the create tenants py. I will just add another blueprint here like that. Here. Then what else? Since the post redirects back to tenant serve blah blah blah, we can show a success alert based on that. So at the top in the tenant HTML, yeah, this is what I asked to do so that I know that it's worked. So in the tenant HTML here, see, I made a mistake because I've made a lot of changes here. So ideally, I should have made a duplicate. So at the top of body or inside main, you're looking for body like that. Here, do that. You can put that one here. Put it here. Save. Right. So all these changes, let's see what that gives us. Refresh. Another trouble. Lot of trouble. So Python app.py. What's the problem now? Lots of troubles. Lots of troubles. Sometimes when it's difficult to trace like that, I just copy everything and ask it. That's the whole point of AI, so that you don't waste time. I mean, I guess if I take my time and go through, it would take me a long time in the research. I can figure it out. But what was the point when I can speed it up? So getting this error. The system that I built that I deployed online, this is exactly what I went through. That's why it's a tedious process. It takes a long time, and you learn. You develop a learning curve for it. Yeah, so it's gonna do that. used to get frustrated and I would just go like answer now. It doesn't really make a bit of a difference, but sometimes, particularly for complicated and long codes, it's best to just allow it to go through this process. In my experience, that's what I found. Let's see what God gave us. Um, yeah, Grok was simplifying the thing. For all you know, this might actually work. But let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. You see the same name endpoint twice. So that's exactly what I was trying to fix, but it's like it's coming back to bite me. Even if you register create a netline, this error commonly shows up when the model gets imported twice. But I'm not importing the model twice because as you can see here, it's tenant BP, create tenant BP. And yeah, I changed that. So I'm not importing it twice. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. No, this is it's turning out to be more complicated. No, it's turning out to be more complicated. Um, it's turning out to be more complicated. Okay. Let's go to Grok. I'm gonna give you these. I'm gonna give Grok these files. Let me give Grok all the files. So this is the create tenants. This is the that's the create tenants. That's the um, templates, admin, the tenants one. Yeah. Then give it the main files, the app and the DB access. The app and the DB access. These are the main files now. Fix the problem so that I don't get this error, and also the create tenant works. So copy the error. How's the error you're getting? There's the error. Sorry. So um so there's the error view function blah blah blah. This happens when creating and you define two functions with the same name and route. Oh, okay. So then the problem is in this one here, create tenants. That create tenants BP. So this is the first one. So where exactly is the issue here? Tenants create. So it says I created two of these. I created two of these. Oh, okay. Okay. And the same as crash on startup. Okay, so replace the entire that with this. Let's see. How many lines is that? To replace that with that, then update the tenant HTML. Because I've not achieved the working code yet, I'm able to make wholesome changes. But if I achieve a working code, then I'll go into version control, comment some sections out so that I can quickly revert back if I don't get what I want. But for now, I've not achieved any wholesome code, so I can just make wholesome changes. So HTML, find this line. Where is this line? Let's find this line. Where is this line? Fetch L generates code. Fetch L for create and generates code. But isn't that what I've done? Because isn't this the same, this is the same code that's there? So keep the form action as is, correct? Then the tenant email add is just before the form inside the section class. Why am I adding this? Add this just before the form inside the section class card. What am I? Section class. Inside the form section class card just before the form inside it. Okay, so here, add it here. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. All right. Let's see. So now, moment of truth. I don't expect it to work because it's too. I know. I've faced numerous challenges like this before. Python app.py. Okay, at least now it starts. So once it starts, let's see what we can get from there. Okay. Add new Kwame 123. Yeah, I'll just do ABC for now. Let's see what's the creating. Yeah, Gmail. And this one is Yahoo. There's nothing in the console to show that it's working. This thing is proving very difficult. Wow. Now let's see in this console whether it prints something. It doesn't print anything. It doesn't print anything, which is problematic. Ah, I need to sleep. But I always like to leave on a point where something's working. I don't want to. I never like to leave when there's an error. And the thing is, I've done this before. I've done this before in the other one and it works, but it's not a scalable one. So trying to just translate that into a more scalable one is what is giving me this headache. Or does it need to link with that? Let me see. Let me see. Tenants.py, create tenant.py. This as well. And no, templates. You need a tenants.html. These are the codes now. It's still not printing anything to the console, and the database, the tables are not being created. Fix it, and whichever code is problematic, give me the full code with the update. I've reached that point where I'm getting a little bit frustrated. So just fix it and give me the whole update. So I'm just going to give the same prompt to ChatGPT. Then I'll test all the codes in a wholesome manner. Yeah, GPT is a bit slow. The problem is sometimes, like I said, with Grok, when you ask it to give you the whole code, it changes certain parts of it to try in an attempt to make it better. But sometimes, I just want my code as it is. Don't make it better. You know, that's why I'm very, very skeptical or like hesitant when it comes to like asking it to give me the whole code again. So let's see what it has turned out. So this is the create tenants. Now, so create tenant here, everything here. Let's see what it does. Create tenants, that. App and are already correct. It says the app and this one already correct. Display internet just before. So the tenant appear, I remove the generate code. So this one like this, because it's something that I've already done, I will just copy this, comment it out, and paste the same code here before I make any edits that I need to make. So it's saying I should do this. I should just do that. So you don't mess anything up. Okay. So now let's try it again. It's gonna fail monumentally. Oh, we didn't fail. I thought it was gonna fail. Wow. Okay. 123 at yahoo.com. Another one. abc at gmail.com. 123. Another one. 456. So blog. At this point, people have seen the addresses in my thing. And testing mic. My voice is not coming because there's a lot of frustration setting in. Let's see what this does then. The prompt is not coming as usual. Nothing is going into my database. Nothing is going into my database. It's not working. Anyway, let's see. Uh, GPT can be very slow. The thing about it is when it's like that, usually it has finished the code, but it has just frozen. So normally what I'll do is I'll just go back home, exit, then open ChatGPT again. Just go in here. So this is that. See, all the code is there, but just writing the code, it freezes out. So this is it. So tenants.py, exactly what this one did. Exactly what ChatGPT also did. Okay. Then create tenants py.
good practice. It says it's good practice, so let's see what that is. Again, this is a working code, so you comment it out, and you put a new one here. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. If it doesn't work, we continue tomorrow. I'm even tired. I'm not even going to put a lot of stuff in there. I'm just going to do that just to see if it works. It's not working. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. I'm tired. But basically, this is how it runs every time. You hit stop and stop. And there are times where you can hit like everything goes as planned for hours. There are times where one stop will halt you for like 2 hours, and as it's done today, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'll end the stream today and I'll continue tomorrow. Bye.